Attention, Lions fans! It's time for another update, and it's crucial that you stick around until the end to understand all the details. One of the most underrated players on the Detroit Lions roster could, surprisingly, become the best value. Signing of the entire year, and almost no one is talking about it. And that's not all. Ben Johnson, the Lions' former offensive coordinator, may have taken a giant step in the wrong direction. His decision to take over the Chicago Bears is already showing signs of regret, and this strategic mistake could end up being an unexpected gift for the Detroit Lions. And finally, a major update on the free agent market, a major reinforcement, could be on the way to Detroit. Experienced cornerback Kendall Fuller is on the radar and could be the ideal name to further strengthen this evolving defense. Before I tell you everything, like to post to strengthen the channel and subscribe. If you haven't already, that way you don't miss any updates about the Lions. Now, let's get to the full story. Important movement alert behind the scenes for the Lions. A low-key but extremely valuable name could be the key to Detroit's defensive success in 2025, and no one is talking about him enough. While the headlines revolve around million-dollar contracts and splashy signings, the Lions may have made one of the best value signings of the offseason by keeping a versatile player, ready to contribute in multiple roles in-house. Cornerback Khalil Dorsey, re-signed for 2 years and $3.3 million. Dorsey arrives as a quiet but strategic piece to plug holes that cost the team dearly in 2024. And with training camp approaching, the eyes of the most attentive analysts are beginning to turn to this. Name a true wildcard that could have a much greater impact than anyone imagined. During an offseason marked by defensive overhauls, the Detroit Lions spared no effort to avoid a repeat of the problems that plagued the team last year especially. On defense, the departure of key players like Carlton Davis, Ifeatu Melifonwu, and Kendall Fuller forced the team to act quickly, and that's exactly what the front office did. They brought in the solid DJ Reed, signed to a 3-year contract, and Avonte Maddox, who agreed to a 1-year deal with a lot to prove. But while these names grabbed headlines, it was Dorsey's re-signing that went largely unnoticed, and that's where Detroit may have made a big splash. Dorsey, who played primarily on special teams, brings a key element: experience in the system, versatility, and resilience. Even with limited snaps on defense, his presence has always been reliable, and the coaching staff has already indicated he has a real chance to compete for the CB3 position on the roster. Dorsey's performance in 2024 was underestimated, but the numbers reveal much more than meets the eye. In just 14 games starting only one, he racked up 14 combined tackles, 2 pass breakups, 1 tackle for loss, and demonstrated solid efficiency in the few moments he was challenged. He allowed just 54.5% completions when targeted, with a 99.6 passer rating conceded to the opposing quarterback. For a player who isn't a regular starter, this consistency is remarkable. Furthermore, Dorsey also contributed as a kick returner, averaging an impressive 39.8 yards per attempt, a huge jump from 2023. All of this reinforces his value as a multitasking player. Exactly the kind of asset winning teams always keep around. Of course, not everything is rosy. Dorsey's season was abruptly cut short by a serious injury, fractured fibula and tibia, suffered during Week 15 against the Bills. Even so, he remained committed to the team and participated in practice within the limits of his medical limitations. Dan Campbell made it clear that Dorsey is on the radar for the defensive rotation and that his presence is valued in the locker room. If fully recovered, he will not only compete for the CB3 spot with Ennis Rakestraw Jr., a second-round draft pick, but could also secure a key role in the team's rotation, something essential in a league where injuries are inevitable and depth is key to success. In a realistic scenario, Dorsey may not earn the starting job, but that doesn't mean his contribution will be diminished. Quite the opposite. If injuries impact the roster again, as happened in 2024, the Lions will have in Dorsey a prepared player, knowledgeable in the defensive system, experienced on special teens, and capable of covering multiple roles without compromising performance. The versatility he offers is rare and extremely valuable on a roster with real Super Bowl aspirations. In a year that promises to be the most ambitious of the Campbell era, every piece counts in Dorsey, even out of the spotlight, could be one of the most important. Bears' decision turns into a nightmare for Ben Johnson and could be a gift for the Lions. The Chicago Bears may have made a move that seemed promising, but now threatens to turn into a disaster, and the Detroit Lions fans are the ones who stand to gain. Ben Johnson's departure as the Lions' offensive coordinator was one of the most painful moments of the offseason. Johnson, recognized as one of the NFL's most innovative offensive minds, accepted the challenge of becoming the new head coach of the Bears, one of the biggest rivals in the NFC North. In theory, it seemed like the perfect match. A franchise desperate for offensive success and a young, creative coach determined to prove his worth as a leader. But the reality is quite different. Less than a month before the start of the preseason, a behind-the-scenes decision in Chicago put everything in check. The Bears front office, led by Ryan Poles, decided to extend the general manager's contract for another 5 years, a move that has sparked outrage among analysts and fans, and even sparked internal speculation about the franchise's future. The big question here isn't just about past results, but about a troubling pattern of decisions that seem to be undermining any genuine attempt at rebuilding. Ryan Poles is the same executive who backed Matt Eberflus despite his disappointing seasons, leaving the team to sink into a sea of inconsistency and lack of identity. Now, with Ben Johnson at the helm, the expectation was that he would finally have the freedom to build something new alongside the No. 1 overall draft pick Caleb Williams. But as Matt Sidney pointed out in a recent analysis for the Sideline Report, the outlook is more murky than it seems. According to Sidney, Johnson should be a breath of fresh air, someone capable of developing Williams away from the toxic interference of the front office. However, he already finds himself stuck with a GM who wastes resources and creates unrealistic expectations, repeating the same cycle that has frustrated Chicago fans for years. This combination of promise and internal limitations could prevent Johnson from reaching his potential, and that, for the Lions, is music to their ears. After all, the worse the Bears perform, the greater Detroit's chances of dominating the NFC North if Ben Johnson fails to transform the Bears. And the current situation indicates he will face far more obstacles than freedom. The Lions could finally cement their golden era in the division. It's a narrative shift few could have imagined at the start of 2024. While Detroit evolves, betting on continuity and stability under Dan Campbell, Chicago bets on chaos disguised as innovation. And there's the cherry on top. The Lions still have room to strengthen, with strategic free agents before the 2025 season. One name that's been gaining traction behind the scenes is Kendall Fuller, a veteran cornerback who's on the free market, and could bring even more depth and experience to Detroit's secondary. With Amick Robertson beset by fitness and technical doubts, Fuller will be a smart addition to solidify the area, especially in a division that now boasts Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy as new aerial gems. If Chicago continues to make mistakes and Detroit remains smart in the market, NFC North dominance may be much closer than we imagine. Like this video to support this video. We'll update fans daily here on the channel, and this like helps this news reach more Detroit Lions fans. Thanks and see you next time.